We're going to look at the kettlebell swing, two-hand swing, two-arm swing. Kettlebell on the floor. To figure out how far behind the bell you need to start, you can place your toes right up behind the bell, turn 90 degrees at the heel, and then 90 degrees again and back, and the same on the other side. And that will take you roughly 1 foot, it may not be exactly 12 inches, but roughly to where you should be behind the bell. You can just let your toes go light, just squeeze your buttocks a little bit and let the toes slightly turn out, just a comfortable degree. So that's quite a nice starting position for your kettlebell swing. The feet don't have to be absolutely parallel, they can be slightly turned out, but you wouldn't want to be 45 degrees turned out. You're going to hip hinge to grasp the bell. So again, use whatever technique works best for you. I quite like the idea of this little karate chop into the front of the hips to just initiate that sending of the hips back, sitting the hips back. Reach down for the handle of the bell, and you're going to tip the bell back so that it's on its back edge. Grasp the bell firmly. Anti-shrug, so sometimes it helps if you shrug up first to give yourself the opposite movement, and then pull those shoulders down. Packing the shoulders, engaging the lats. Pulls your shoulder girdle down into your abdominal girdle, really creates good core stability throughout your whole torso. You're going to increase your intra-abdominal pressure to stabilize the lower back and brace your abs before you make any movement. Your weight is kind of back on your heels. You should feel, as you sit back away from the bell, a little bit of tension in the hamstrings in particular. It's the tension in these hamstrings that's going to act a little bit like a bowstring. If you've got some tension here, then you're going to be able to fire the hips through as you stand up. Just like if you had a bow and arrow, you're pulling the bowstring back into tension. The further back you go, the more tension you get on that bow. And when you release it, the faster that arrow is going to shoot away from the bow. If you've only got a little bit of tension, you release that, the arrow is just going to flop out of the front of the bow. The purpose of a kettlebell swing is to fire the hips forwards. It's a hip movement, not a shoulder movement. Your shoulders are packed down, your arms behave simply like cables, just allowing the weight of the bell to swing up, to float, and then to fall back down as you come back into your hinge. And as you come back into your hinge, then the tension that's recreated in your hamstrings is just like pulling that bowstring back again. You're creating all of that tension ready to fire the hips forwards again. So watch. Coming down into my hinge, grasp the bell, anti-shrug the shoulders. Nice sip of air in. My first movement is to hike the bell back between my knees, heading up into this little V, the top of my thighs, and I'm going to make contact. My forearms here are going to make contact with my inner thighs, and then I'm going to fire my hips through. So each time the bell comes back down between my knees, I'm creating that tension ready to fire the hips back through. As I come through, I'm squeezing my butt, I'm pulling my kneecaps up towards my hips and really creating a lot of tension in my legs and my butt. I'm trying not to lean back away from the bell, but engaging with my abdominal muscles, so I just come up nice and straight. What I'd like you to practice to begin with is what we call a dead stop swing. So you're simply going to take the bell back, you're going to fire it out, bring it back, and then place the bell back down on the floor. Just like so. Just one swing. Just to get used to that movement. Into the hike, firing the hips forwards, let it enjoy the float at the top of the swing, and let the bell drop. You're almost playing chicken with the bell. The bell's going to come down, almost have your arms touching your chest before you come back into the hinge, move your hips out of the way, recreate that tension to fire the bell back through. Watch one more time. I'm going to do a couple of dead stops and then I'll do 5 swings. Five swings now. I hope that was 5. I sort of lost count around about 3. So that's the swing. Practice, practice, practice.